Hello everyone, this is Caitlin Vermark and I teach high school. I teach AP Art History and Studio Art. And this week we're talking about reflecting on our own teaching practice. Two main ways that I do this. The first one would be a little bit more formal on what I'm doing, and then we talk about it afterwards. And I found that this is really helpful to get kind of not an outsider, but just someone else's opinion, what they see. I know we do the same type of thing with the video feedbacks, but getting kind of that live feed, I think is really nice, because then you can maybe even make an adjustment between the morning and the afternoon, or between classes at like my level. So I teach the same subject multiple times a day. But just getting someone, especially if you can get someone who doesn't teach your same subject, to come in and what I was supposed to do or didn't understand that concept. So being able to talk to someone and being like, okay, these parts of the lesson didn't really work for everyone. And that's something that also I can reflect on my own teaching practices, and while the lesson's being taught with the kids, what their reaction is. Do I see them engaged in whatever we're learning? Do I see them being able to, in my case, draw? So are they drawing what they're supposed to be, or are they just doodling? Can I see visually, in my case, that whatever I have just presented has been effective toward them? So that is kind of my secondary, not quite as formal way of reflecting on my own teaching practices, is both in the moment. In my case, especially, we start with drafts. Does their draft capture the standard or the objective of that lesson? Even before we get to a more formal project, can I see that they understand what we're supposed to be learning for that lesson? And letting them verbalizing it too. Like, I'm going to ask them, okay, what forms are you using, or what shape is that, or what are your different levels of depth in your painting? And if they're able to tell me that, I can reflect back and say, okay, good, well, that part of the lesson went well. However I presented it worked. If I'm not being understand this piece of it, but maybe they understand the other part really well, well, what did I do in that part that was so much better than this other part? And that's also where the more formal aspect of having someone who is not teaching my subject, or who is teaching my subject, sometimes that works too, come in and really discuss what they thought worked and what didn't. But definitely, I think student feedback, even in assessments, is a great way to reflect on your teaching practice and looking for those patterns, looking for things that clicked with them and things that didn't. And if something doesn't, think back for me, okay, well, what did I do that worked here, that didn't work? And trying to figure out a new way to present material that works for them. So that's what I do when I reflect.